How's it going? So I'm gonna show you how to use ESM modules with basically first with browser, which is HTML, and then with Node.js, because one of the problems is they're not good with Node.js, right? So for the browser, okay, it's a very simple rule. So we create in here, let's say, let's do const my string equals whatever. Let's just do this one, right? And then we want to do module dot exports. Whoops, what is this? My string, okay? Now, for demonstration purposes, I will put this thing in here. Well, let's simplify it first. Okay, let's just stick to this. All right, now we want to import this, right? So we're gonna do it import my string from my string like this. Now you have to specify the extensions when you're working outside of Webpack or compilers, right? So now we're gonna console log it, and another thing we need to do is this has to be type module, and then this is going to work. Okay, so this has to be export default my string. Okay, all right, so now it's working, you see. You can see it in the browser. So there are two rules for this, right? So rule number one, this has to be type module when you import it into HTML. Rule number two is that this has to use a ES module syntax. Okay. 1 sec, let me just pause. Okay, so again, for browser, there are two core rules. Number one, when you're adding script, which is the index.js, it has to be type module. Once this is specified, you can then import and export using ES module style. So here, now we're going to talk about Node.js. So Node.js, if you try to do, well, let me just clear first. So with the node index.js, right? It's going to tell you cannot use import outside the module. The easiest way to fix this is just to rename every single file to m.js, which is module JavaScript. Okay, so look, if we just rename this to m.js, okay, now it's going to work. So we just put m.js. You see, now it's working. So that's like the fastest way to fix this. However, in certain situations, you might come across where this file, the one that's exporting, is actually a JavaScript file. Okay, but the one that's importing, the one that you're using, is actually a module, right? So this is what's going to happen. It's going to tell you unexpected token in the export. So what it's complaining about, it's telling you that this is not acceptable syntax for this import or whatever. Right? That's because this file extension is JavaScript, and JavaScript cannot use this type of this type of exports, I suppose, right? Unless you're using Webpack compiler, right? But outside of that, you have to go this way. You have to go module. So to fix that, you have to do module exports module dot exports my string. Okay, so now you'll see it's going to start working. Okay, now we have hello world. Now, another problem you can potentially run into is that if you put it like this, it's again going to break because it has to be default, I think, right? Oh no, it's actually working. Okay, fine. Whew! I thought it was some kind of a bug that you have to fix. That's fine, that's fine. Okay, that's good stuff. Then you don't have to worry about default exports and stuff like that. Alright, so the rule then for if one is module.js and second one is just JavaScript, you cannot use the ESM export syntax. You have to use module exports. But the easiest way to think about it, right? If you see MJS extension and you are not using a compiler like Webpack, you have to use ESM syntax, which is modular syntax, right? If you're using .js, you have to use common JS syntax, which is this syntax here. And that's pretty much it. Yep, okay. Take care, bye-bye.